add something there?
Add to that in the sense that we've experienced exactly the same thing. I think if I can refer to Gayndah, we've experienced an influx of little red flying foxes there that have never been there before in a very small concentrated area next to the township. When I was up there, and I've been up there twice now, is that there were roosts in the creek course to the north and to the south, but relatively small. But that river system had been heavily impacted by the floods. So that I think, as Hume said, that the issue, it was such a big year, is so many things that could have changed it, the flowering patterns, the food sources, the mobility of the flying foxes. So we are experiencing quite an odd year, not a normal year. And of course this is pushing our emphasis to managing the flying foxes where they end up. And in this case, as we've heard before, that them setting up roosts and colonies in urban environments creates the bigger conflict. And it's not necessarily just the Hendra question, it's more the question of discomfort, the smell, the noise and so on, living in close proximity to the animals.
If this year was an extraordinary year, what do you expect will happen next year? Do you think things will go back to a more normal pattern in relation to the virus?
I think it's going to be a combination of the research that Hume is talking about. We've been monitoring flying fox population and distribution for many years, and just working that out and what are the predisposing factors. We know their range, as I've shown on the map earlier today, is quite vast. And we do predict that, for example, little red flying foxes should be heading back up north now. They should be heading back to the flowering trees in North Australia. So yes, I think the short answer to that is we would expect the pendulum to swift back to some normality, but we will continue to monitor and get a better handle on this as well.
Right. Can I comment on that, Sharon,
yes.
again? Look, I think our group has always had an understanding that to understand the infection dynamics in flying foxes, what drove the amount of virus and the times when the virus is there in flying foxes, and so when it might be excreted. To understand that, you have to understand the biology of flying foxes and the ecology. How do they relate to their environments? What were the pressures on them, etc. And so we've done it in the past. We're proposing to increase that understanding and understanding of the interaction between the animals and their environment and the climatic systems with some of this accelerated research that's come from the task force, and to specifically bring in wildlife biologists, to specifically bring in climate people, etc., so that we can seek to tease out this association between climate change, between food resource availability, between nutritional stress and foraging behaviours, and infection dynamics and stress.
All right, I'll just ask this specific question here from Greg at Westlake, and I might defer that one to you, Michael. We are under the flight path of flying foxes, and they regularly drop their excrement over our home and garden. What is the risk to my family's health when cleaning up the mess, or just in general?
I think that comes back to the conversation we were having before, where we know there's no evidence that the Hendra virus can be passed on from flying foxes to people. So in terms of the in terms of the risk, there isn't really a risk. There are a whole range of things that are at play here, including the fact that the excrement, if it does have the virus in it, would only last 15 minutes, and if you're cleaning up, it would probably last less, depending on what you're doing in terms of cleaning. So I think, in terms of the overall risks, they don't. There is no risk. Having said that, whenever you're cleaning up excrement from any animal, I think the risks would really be associated with what else might be there, and obviously you need to take appropriate precautions when you're cleaning, and making sure that you don't handle any of the excrement, and then after you've done the cleaning up, that you take normal precautions in terms of washing your hands and making sure you certainly do that before you eat food, before you don't smoke, and in terms of touching any mucosal surfaces such as mouth, eyes and nose. So I think it's really a good lesson for us that although there are these concerns, what it really highlights is that you should continue to do what you would do normally in terms of what's good practice in terms of the things you undertake while you're cleaning.